crazy. People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Nigga, for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Oh my God, you guys! Floyd Mayweather just absolutely went off on Charleston White, practically threatening him to back the hell off this whole Big Meech drama or face some serious consequences. But let me tell you, Charleston is not backing down one bit. He's standing his ground and refusing to be intimidated for simply speaking his truth. Ever since Charleston got released from jail, he's been spilling tea left and right in these explosive interviews. And in one of them, he dropped some major bombs about this whole Big Meech and 50 Cent situation that has everyone talking. Now, Charleston did admit there's zero actual proof that Big Meech ever snitched on anybody, but he also claimed that 50 Cent was absolutely justified in going completely ballistic because Big Meech and his son basically stabbed him in the back by linking up with 50's sworn enemies. But one of those enemies, none other than Floyd Money Mayweather himself, was absolutely furious about Charleston's comments, and now Floyd's making it crystal clear that if he ever crosses paths with Charleston, it's going to be on sight. So what's really happening here? Is Floyd genuinely trying to help Big Meech and his family get back on their feet? Or is this all just an elaborate scheme to mess with 50 Cent? Buckle up because I'm about to spill every single drop of this piping hot tea.
Let this be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
OMG, you guys, this Big Meech drama is completely exploding at this point, and it's dragging absolutely everyone down with it. The latest victims, Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White. And trust me when I say this is getting messy as hell.
When you do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowans took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
But then Charleston completely switched gears and took 50 Cent's side, putting Big Meech and his son on full blast. He said he absolutely doesn't blame 50 for losing his mind the way he did because, hello, 50 had Big Meech's back when literally nobody else did, not even Rick Ross. 50 basically took Lil Meech under his wing, got him cleaned up, paid for his acting school out of his own pocket, and then put him in a hit series that made millions of dollars for him while Big Meech was locked up. 50 essentially stepped up and became a father figure to Lil Meech when he needed one most. According to Charleston, anyone would be absolutely livid if they did everything 50 did for someone, only for that person to turn around and start hanging out with their worst enemies. He called Big Meech linking up with Rick Ross a complete and utter slap in the face, saying both he and his son deserve anything 50 throws at them as revenge.
I'm looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son, and at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks, and he like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we picked your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the families, you know, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. Nigga blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
If you remember, this entire explosive situation started because Big Meech decided to team up with Rick Ross to secure some cash for when he gets released from prison. And honestly, none of this would have happened if Lil Meech hadn't blown through all the money 50 put in his pockets when they worked together. He wrote, "They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram and now you managing Skillibang when I brought him around you first when you didn't even have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. Fuck Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet shit is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." It looked like Lil Meech was desperately trying to get back into 50's good graces, but 50's wasn't having any of it. Instead, he dropped the bombshell announcement that he was canceling the BMF series altogether, basically cutting off Lil Meech's entire income source. This explosive exchange left people completely divided. While some thought Lil Meech was right to apologize, others felt he should have stood up to 50 for disrespecting his father. Boosie had some very strong opinions about the whole situation.
I was like, damn, you know, like, seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, because after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, all y'all, I'm with my dead nigga, but you know, I ain't like his response, you know, but it seemed like he got a genuine love for 50 Cent on him, and from when I was reading it, like, he seemed like he caught in the middle, but you know. Like
yeah.
he caught in the middle. That what it seemed like from me reading it, but I'd have been like, you.
Right, because it's your father.
My daddy.
But you can't deny that 50 cutting Lil Meech off is going to seriously impact his bank account because 50 was literally the one who put him on the map. You'd think that Big Meech and Lil Meech would at least try to get 50 to sit down and talk about continuing the show, but that is not what they did. Instead, they drew a clear battle line by hanging out with even more of 50's enemies, especially Lil Meech, who has been spotted all over social media chilling with Floyd Mayweather multiple times. Big Meech and Lil Meech have posted so many photos of them hanging out with Floyd and Rick Ross over the past few weeks. Lil Meech even shared a bunch of photos with both men while they were living it up at the Lucky Strike bowling alley in Miami. He captioned the photo, "Real Power," which honestly sounded like a direct shot at 50. In another post, Lil Meech shared pictures of himself, his father, and Floyd at some undisclosed location. And most recently, he shared a video of him and Floyd having the time of their lives sitting courtside at a Lakers game. They've dissed each other constantly through songs and interviews. 50 never misses a chance to throw Ross back to his Officer Ricky days. He genuinely believes Ross is just pretending to be a gangster while actually being a correctional officer at heart. In a 2015 interview with Tim Westwood, he literally called Ross a complete fraud.
What about you and Rick Ross?
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. You know, because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. You know, I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm going to do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's going to say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after. Like, you know this.
In another explosive interview, 50 called Rick Ross totally irrelevant, saying he doesn't respect his career at all. As for Rick Ross, he absolutely hates 50 too and thinks he's nothing but a big bully.
I took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit personal.
With Rick Ross and 50, you can sort of understand where all this drama is coming from. But with Floyd Mayweather, it's actually shocking that they hate each other so much now because they used to be as close as brothers. But 50 quickly discovered the work was way more than he bargained for because the businesses weren't even properly registered. 50 had to start everything from scratch after investing $1 million of his own money into fixing Floyd's mess. And how did Floyd repay him when he got out of jail? He completely turned against him. He refused to match 50's investment or pay back what he owed and started accusing 50 of trying to take over his company while he was behind bars. While Floyd was running this vicious smear campaign, 50 and others were busy doing a "Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket" campaign, which was basically a fundraiser similar to the one Rick Ross wanted to do for Big Meech.
As he was actually going in to jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather promotion.
Right.
Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather promotions. There's no LLC, there's no seal, it's not incorporated. It's just
the name.
Yeah,
that comes out people's mouths.
Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. You see what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the
show.
Negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together,
put it together for him. So I do TNT promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had to negotiate a release. It was 1.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dibb, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was incarcerated. Yeah. Then he comes home. There's the "Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket" campaign that goes on, where it's $300,000 chains being bought, and buying new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, "Yo, when you gonna give me the money?"
Because you'd already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardlessly. Right. So I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Well, I gotta ask you for it.
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face saying, "You tell me to do that."
We all know 50 is obsessed with loyalty, so there was no way he was going to let Floyd get away with spreading false stories about him. But when 50 finally responded, he somehow ended up looking like the bad guy. Floyd doubled down, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a failed music career. At first, they told the media they had reconciled and were back to being friends, but their relationship quickly went from bad to worse, with both throwing vicious jabs at each other. Floyd would mock 50 for having a terrible relationship with his son Marquise, while 50 would expose Floyd for sleeping with his best friend's woman.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say? me for? Now they f***ed your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say f*** that nigga.
At one point, 50 even accused Floyd of being involved in the tragic deaths of Earl Hayes and his wife Jessica. 50 said, "Tell everybody why you was on FaceTime when he killed Jessica and himself because he was confronting you about F-ed his wife." But just when it looked like 50 might back down, he went straight for the jugular. He challenged Floyd to read a single page of Harry Potter, promising to donate $750,000 to any charity of Floyd's choice if he could actually do it.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. The bucket of ice, man.
Although Floyd clapped back by posting photos of checks totaling over $72 million to prove he didn't need to stoop to 50's level, Floyd could never really shake off those illiterate man allegations. In response, Floyd challenged 50 to get in the ring and settle their beef the old-fashioned way. Even though there were rumors the fight would happen in 2014, it never actually materialized. So you can understand why 50 was absolutely furious when Lil Meech and Big Meech started popping up in photos with Floyd. Never one to let things slide, 50 immediately fired back with his own brutal shots. In one post, he shared a video of Lil Meech talking to Rick Ross and joked they were discussing plans for Ross to gift Big Meech chicken wings from his fast food franchise. 50 also took a brutal shot at Lil Meech in a post where he compared Lil Meech's acting skills to Michael Rainey Jr., the star of 50's award-winning series Power Book 2, Ghost. Michael had just won an NAACP award for his performance, and 50 didn't waste the opportunity to take jabs at Lil Meech. 50 also shared this AI-edited video where he seemed to put Lil Meech on blast, saying he wanted to show Lil Meech the good life, but he was determined to follow in his dad's footsteps.
Something to think about the next time you're on stage waving signs, trying to be like the only daddy you got. I understand you want to keep his name alive, but youngin', I'm trying to save you from your demise. You said it yourself. My pops was a real... Youngin', that ain't no lie. He was in the business that the system perpetuates on the side to keep us in the condition where we ain't made to survive. But you think he a god? Well, let me ask you this. Would you kill a world and save yourself? Yeah, I ain't think that was wise. Something to think about the next time y'all thugging, drinking and drugging, hard liquor y'all full of killers. Remember, hold up. I tried to give you the large picture. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up. Keep going, keep going. Hold on, man. He gonna get this work. I tried to give him the large picture. Yo, Pops wasn't no gangster.
On the surface, it seems bizarre that 50 is going after Lil Meech, who had nothing to do with his father's alleged snitching, with so much venom. But 50 finally shared his side of the story when Boozy called him out for transferring his aggression onto Lil Meech. He said, "I did more for Meech than anyone in his life, Boozy. That's why he responded like that. If he gets locked up, I'm the first person he calls, bailed him out every time. When I saw him laughing at his pop's post, I said, oh, he a snake too. He belong with him." In another revealing post, 50 talked about how he got Lil Meech into rehab and gave him advice on managing his finances. He said, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Meech's relationship. I'm telling Meech I don't want him doing drugs. He telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Meech to chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he had. People don't know I had to send Meech to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as F on set. He started throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the little N had whippets in his truck. I said, what the F is whippets? Look, it's the S that B and BB guns. If someone has done this much for your family, the absolute least you can do is not embarrass them publicly by hanging out with their enemies and plastering the photos all over social media. This is why, according to Charleston White, Big Meech's biggest mistake was posting that video of him and Rick Ross on social media and then posting another video denying the snitch allegations.
Meech's biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there knowing he doing business with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, only knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son. try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. So if he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
Even if there was a chance for 50 to let go of the Rick Ross situation and move forward with the series, Lil Meech and his father completely ruined everything by linking up with Floyd Mayweather. As for Floyd, it's crystal clear he knows exactly what's going on between Big Meech and 50 Cent, and he's just using the father and son as pawns in his ongoing war with 50 Cent. But apparently, he's so serious about getting revenge on 50 that he'll crush anyone who stands in his way, including Charleston White. Floyd is allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to try and get Charleston arrested and sent back to jail, which is absolutely wild if true. But what do you think? Will Floyd actually come through for Big Meech and his son? Or is this all just an elaborate scheme to get under 50's skin? Let's hear your thoughts down below and stick around for more explosive videos just like this one.